Welcome to Watercolor Lessons with Kathy. I'm Kathy Nichols, and I'm a lifelong artist, painter, and teacher. I help students of all ages tap into their creativity with watercolor. Watercolor is a great way to express yourself, and it's easy to get started and fun to do. I hope you join me to learn how to paint with watercolor. I can't wait to see your paintings. Welcome to the next lesson in our Angel series. Friends and family have always enjoyed my angel art, so I thought it would be fun for us to paint some. Today we'll paint an angel who has come to visit from on high. We'll use 2 brushes, 8 paints, wet on dry, blotting, template, white space, and wash techniques. Be sure to check below for useful information and links. Let's paint! Take your spray bottle, wet your pans, put some water in your palette, and now with this painting I will be using a template, and this template is from a painting that I previous did. So here is my template, placing it on the paper where I want it positioned. Take your liner brush, wet your brush, and load your brush with the intense blue. It's a little bright. I'm going to water it down a little bit. Start doing the outline. Now when I come to the hair, I'm not going to use the blue. So I'm stopping when I'm coming to the hair there. And also where her hand is. Okay. And where her chest is. So clean your brush and load it with ochre. Like so. Then lift the template out. So sticking with the same ochre, I will make the line where her chest is and her hair coming down. And then her arm is about right here. And then it extends down here, and her hand is holding out. Okay, like so. Now, to make more of a skin tone, I'm going to take the liner, use some of the, load it with ochre, with a burnt sienna and a touch of crimson. Now, if it's too dark, you can use white to lighten it. So I'm going to add a touch of white. So it's more of a lighter color. And then doing her face like so, and putting some of that color on her arm all the way to her hand. Now take your liner brush and we will paint in some of the hair and use burnt umber with some of the burnt sienna. So it's more of a lightish brown. I'm making some of her hair strands come down her arm and into her wing. And down below, I'm leaving some white spots. Now for that area, I want to give it a quick dry. If I start to add a little bit by the neck and the face, then it will get blurry, and I don't want it to get blurry. I want it to have more crisp lines. Okay, load your liner brush with the burnt umber and the burnt sienna mixture. And I'm coming down along the hair here. And some of the hair is along her other side of her neck, so I'm making it come down this way. Her hair is blowing in the wind, like so. Now the face there is a little flat, so I want to put a little bit of color. So take some of the ochre and thin it down and put a little on the face there. Now if it's too strong, you can take your brush and sop some of it up. And we want to make more of a definition where her neckline is. So what I'm going to do is maybe draw a little bit of a shadow. So put a little darkness by loading your liner brush with burnt umber and have it watered down pretty lightly. Now see, that's too dark, but I can go back and lift some of that out. And it's not so dark. Carry the line there. I want a little tone, gold tone, so load your brush with ochre. Again, if it gets a little dark like that, you can water it down to lift some of that color out. Just add a little tone. If you don't want a line, but there is a line there, you can make that line disappear by adding water. Like so. Okay. Now let's turn our attention to her dress here. We will now go to painting on the dress. Pick up your round with pointed tip brush and load it with the color Intense Blue. Now I'm watering mine down a little bit. And spread that paint. Now there's quite a bit of paint on here, so I'm just wetting my brush and staining the water. Spread that water. And then reload your brush as needed. Now I'm bringing some of that blue color down, and you want to do it sporadically, not like a grid, so just wherever it looks so that the dress will look flowing. Now, I'm starting on the back of the dress here, and that color will run into the wings. Now let's go to the wing, and the color is going to be a little brighter. So load your round with pointed tip brush with the Intense Blue, and we will be adding some sap green to give it a little bit more color and contrast. So it's more of an aquamarine. Now I'm starting here at the top and making it rather dark. And now I'm going to take that color and lighten it and carry it down on the wing, further down on the wing. Okay, so now we're going to turn our attention. If you look right there, the line of the line of the wing is there, and I don't really like that. So to change that, I'm going to start working on the outside of that part and making that darker. Again, load your round with pointed tip brush, intense blue with some of the sap green, and start at the bottom of the wing and start carrying it up. And if it's too strong, add that water to dilute it. Now I'm coming to the top of the wing and down here, and you might want to add some white to lighten that color. And I think I want to do that with mine. And it's a little dark, so I'm just going to kind of dab it. Kind of create some little texture there. Like so, and then carry it down. Around her head. Okay. So where her head is, there's going to be some land shapes, or kind of distant land shapes. So take some of the mixture of the intense blue sap and add a touch of burnt umber. Kind of give it a more earthy green. And put some kind of off in the distant shape forms. And then further down, is going to be the ocean. But now it's time to stop and give it a good dry. Okay, As I dried it, I see there's some little puddles, and you can just dab it so there won't be dark globs of paint on your painting. Okay, pick up your round with pointed tip brush and load with ultramarine blue. That's a better color for water. And I'm going to add some water. Okay, let's turn our attention to her flowing dress here. And you can add a little more color and contrast. So load your brush with the ultramarine blue and some of the sap green mixture. And I'm going to put some more definition on her dress. Now, let's turn our attention to this area down here by her dress. And load your round with pointed tip brush with burnt sienna and burnt umber to get those browns. And put some below, like there's rock formation below her. Now I see that in my painting there's a line, and I don't really like that line, so there's ways to change that. And if your watercolor is too dry, sometimes you won't be able to get it out. But you can change the composition by doing something different. So in this instance, you can load your round with pointed tip brush with some of the burnt sienna and put some little darkness around the edge there. Now, I want her dress to be a little more flowing, so to do that, to create more depth, you can load your brush with the ultramarine blue and some of the sap green and run it where the rocks are. And then you can dab it for some more texture. like so. Now I think I want to go and add a little more dark areas in her hair. And make a little more definition in the wing right here. So first, let's do the hair, and then we'll work on this area right here to soften it. Take your liner brush, load with burnt umber and some burnt sienna. Just making some darker streaks in her hair there. Like so. Okay. Now, take your round with pointed tip brush, clean it out. Always check on your paper towel. And you can wet it and then dab it, and that will soften the paint. Like so. Now, I see that the water here will need to add some of this color of the ultramarine blue. So load your round with pointed tip brush. So this is the intense blue, so let's put some of that intense blue over here in the water. Just want a little bit of that blue color carrying on to here, like so. Now in her hand, will be having some rose petals. And to make those, take your round with pointed tip brush and load it with crimson. And put some little rose petals. If you want them to look like hearts, you can, or just kind of floating good vibes out to you. She's on the earth spreading her joy. Just a little bit like that. Very faint, but it's there. Then step back and look at the painting and analyze if you want to add more or not. I like the overlook of this one, so I'm going to stop. Thanks for joining me today. I really enjoyed it. Keep on painting. I enjoyed painting with you today, and I hope you enjoyed it too. I'd love to see photos of your creations. You can email them to me at the address in the description. To suggest something you'd like to paint, please let me know in the comments. If you'd like to give watercolor a try, please subscribe to my channel and take a lesson or two. Please join me next time when we'll paint another angel. Take care, be safe, and see you soon.